Namaskar, good evening. You're watching Briefing Room and I'm Swati Joshi. TMC Supremo Mamata Banerjee is facing perhaps the toughest battle of her life. It now seems to be a choice she is being forced to make between her party and her nephew, Abhishek Banerjee. West Bengal Assembly Speaker has recognized TMC rebel Ritabrata Banerjee as leader of the opposition. Ritabrata, remember, was expelled from the TMC earlier this week. He claimed support of 58 MLAs elected on TMC symbol and submitted a letter of support to the speaker, comfortably crossing two-thirds majority, which is required under the anti-defection law for a breakaway faction to avoid disqualification. However, there are select few who are still willing to stand with Mamata Banerjee and her party ideologies.
और एक एक्सपेल्ड दलबदलू को वो स्पीकर साहब रूम का चाबी अलाउ किया है. दे आर विद दीदी. पूरा जो वोट देता है वो दीदी का साथ है.
When all MLAs with all signatures, they went, Shobhandev Chatterjee and Kunal, they went to the speaker. Speaker refused, but he immediately handed over the key to an independent people. So it is proved, it is ample clear that the entire game has been made by Bharatiya Janata Party.
9 MLAs is from Murshidabad district. Among 9, 8 MLAs already signed. But however, I felt that it should not be proper because of my ideology and the personal introspection, whatever you can say.
So for Mamata Banerjee, it's a tough choice. On one hand is Abhishek Banerjee, on the other are the MLAs, part of the rebel faction, and they have the numbers, mind you. And before we decode what's happening within the party, let's in fact try and understand that math, that number game. How many MLAs are against Mamata Banerjee and how much is really needed to avoid anti-defection law? How much is needed to avoid the disqualification process? Let's understand the math here. So TMC MLAs, part of the rebel faction, are claiming that they have the numbers and they still want Mamata Banerjee to be their chief advisor. How many MLAs are there of the TMC? There are in all 80 MLAs. Of them, if you talk about the rebel MLAs, then that comes to 58. Ritabrata Banerjee has already submitted a letter. He already has been accepted as the leader of opposition in the West Bengal Assembly. He's been named as the LoP. Now, to avoid the anti-defection law and to avoid the disqualification process, the two-third mark is 54. This number matters. The rebel faction, they have support of 58, and according to Ritabrata Banerjee and others, 2 more will join their faction. This will go up to 60. That's of course their claim at the moment. But they have enough numbers to avoid disqualification, enough to avoid the anti-defection law. The revolt, which comes barely 2 months after the party's crushing defeat in the assembly elections, has exposed a widening rift between the organization and its elected legislators, raising questions about leadership, succession, and the future of the party. Now, the dissident camp is being led by Ritabrata Banerjee, who is the new leader of opposition in the state and has reduced Mamata to mere party advisor position. Who exactly is Ritabrata and what has been his political career? Let's in fact take a look at who Ritabrata Banerjee is. And we'll also play out the details for you. These are the details as far as the new LoP of West Bengal is concerned. In 2008, he started his political career with the left. So he was earlier with the left. In 2014, he was made the Rajya Sabha MP by left on the left seat. 2017, he was expelled from the left in 2017. So he started his journey with left, also became a Rajya Sabha member, was later removed by the party. The reason was leaking party secrets to media. That was the reason why he was removed. And then in 2018, he starts his association with the Trinamool Congress. He becomes part of the Trinamool Congress. 2024, Ritabrata Banerjee made Rajya Sabha MP by the TMC. So this is how he gets an opportunity to represent the party in the parliament. And now 2026, won the assembly seat from Uluberia, Purb, and went on to head the rebel faction and also went on to become the leader of opposition in the West Bengal Assembly. Times Now, in fact, exclusively spoke to rebel MLA Sandeepan Saha. He tells us how TMC's ideology has changed over the years And Abhishek Banerjee, according to him, is only interested in safeguarding his interest, the interest of his coterie. A big indication that Abhishek Banerjee is a big problem, says Mr. Saha. Here are some of his claims. So this is what after Ritabrata Banerjee, Sandeepan Saha has also claimed. Claim number one, that they have backing of 60 plus MLAs. This is what the rebel TMC MLA has said. He also claims that TMC has drifted away from its core values, and this has happened over the years. Mr. Saha says IPAC involved in candidate selection. What he's trying here to highlight is that IPAC was not limited to just deciding the strategy for the party to win elections. It was doing a lot more than what it was mandated to do. Internal discontent behind this revolt. So he's very clearly saying that there was dissatisfaction and discontent in the MLAs, which has led to the rebellion. Abhishek only interested in protecting his coterie. Even Sandeepan Saha is saying that they have a problem only with Abhishek Banerjee. IPAC's role grew beyond strategy. They started also playing a role when it comes to candidate selection as per him. Concerns of MLAs not taken seriously and veteran leaders were sidelined. These are the claims and the allegations that Sandeepan Saha, a rebel TMC MLA, is levelling against the high command of the TMC. BJP, however, has hit out at Mamata Banerjee. BJP says she has been running TMC like a dictator. The party also seems clear about keeping the door closed for TMC rebels.
So how many people, how many MLAs do you have? 58 was what was announced. There was an element that more are joining. Today, this morning at, let's say 10:30 a.m., how many MLAs do you have in your bloc?
More than 60.
So who is the real TMC?
We are the principal opposition bloc within the assembly. And of course, we will be recognized as the principal opposition bloc, elected MLAs from TMC.
नहीं हम तो दरवाजा बहुत टाइट करके बंद किए हैं। हम जानते हैं कि ये होने वाला था, कोई गलती से ना घुस जाए फिर से, हम भुगत चुके हैं, इसलिए दरवाजा अभी भी बंद है। देखा जाए आगे क्या होता है।
स्पीकर का डिसीजन इज एब्सोल्यूट, सभी टूट जाएगा। तृणमूल ये अनिवार्य था, तृणमूल का ये जो हाल होगा ये सभी का जानकारी था, ये होना चाहिए था। जब दूसरा पार्टी को तोड़ रहे थे ममता बनर्जी, दूसरा एमएलए को तोड़ रहे थे, तब उनको सोचना चाहिए था।
देखिए टीएमसी अपने अंत की ओर है। टीएमसी का एकदम खत्म हो जाएगा। जैसे पश्चिम बंगाल से कांग्रेस खत्म हो गई, जैसे पश्चिम बंगाल से सीपीएम कम्युनिस्ट खत्म हो गई, वैसे अब टीएमसी भी खत्म हो जाएगी।
So after the revolt of 58 MLAs under the banner of Asli TMC in State Assembly, the mutiny may have reached Lok Sabha. And there is intense speculation that 20 out of 41 TMC MPs, both from Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, are secretly planning to execute Delhi chapter of the TMC rebellion. The big question is, TMC facing an existential crisis? Let's take a look at what the insiders are telling us. This is the inside scoop that we are getting for you. Number one, more MLAs likely to turn rebel soon. So it is not going to be limited to just 58 plus 2 that the rebel faction claims at the moment. It will be much more than that. Number two, rebel wave may hit TMC in Lok Sabha. It may not just be limited to MLAs, but also reach the MPs soon. Number three, fears of Lok Sabha split in TMC is now intensifying. Number four, Kakoli Ghosh has already resigned from all the posts. This is what insiders are telling your channel. Several TMC MPs unhappy with parties functioning. So this dissatisfaction is not just limited to the level of MLAs, but there are a lot of MPs who are also feeling dissatisfied, demotivated at the moment. And soon this rebellion could also hit the MPs in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha as well. As fears of Lok Sabha split in TMC intensify, the insiders have also told Times Now that Mamata Banerjee is likely to move court against this betrayal. And here's her plan, the likely plan that Mamata Banerjee may adopt. And this is what sources are telling your channel. Mamata Banerjee may challenge the speaker's decision. Sources are also telling your channel that the rebel group is not the recognized TMC party. This is, of course, what is being planned in terms of legal strategy. Rebel signatures can't override party structure. Mamata being forced to choose between her nephew, that is Abhishek Banerjee, and the party. Sources are also telling Times Now that Mamata Banerjee is under immense pressure because clearly she is facing a tough choice. If she picks party, then high chance of Abhishek going to jail. Because remember, all the allegations that have been leveled, the MLAs are saying that there was only corruption happening. TMC has dissolved all district and block level committees. So Mamata Banerjee may approach court now. That could be her next strategy. The fact is that Mamata Banerjee has clearly lost control over her party. The maker of the party is facing the biggest challenge from her own. But as they say, there are no full stops in politics. What options does Mamata Banerjee really have? What next for Mamata Banerjee? Let's break down the details for you. Option number 1, aggressive street opposition and protest. Typical Mamata style politics. That's how she began her political career. Option number 2, move to court over the split and reclaim rights. So that is option number 2. She could knock on the court's door. Option number 3, sack Abhishek Banerjee and quell the rebellion because the rebel faction says they have no problem with her. They want her to be their chief advisor. Number 4, move to Rajya Sabha and stay politically relevant. This is what Mamata Banerjee could do. These are her options that are available. To talk more about the situation unfolding in West Bengal, we are joined by former Rajya Sabha MP Shantanu Sen and Professor Monojit Mondal, political analyst. Thank you very much. Good evening to both of you. Mr. Sen, I want to come to you first. Mamata Banerjee clearly has not accepted defeat. She says SIR is to be blamed for that. As far as the internal rebellion is concerned, she says BJP is to be blamed for that. Let me ask you, this internal turmoil that we are witnessing at the moment, is this opportunism? Or is this discontent and dissatisfaction that was building for a long time?
That is the main reason what you said at the beginning. We are facing, the entire country is witnessing these inevitable consequences. In an election, one party will win, another party will get defeated. But when you are winning the election, you are accepting the public mandate. But when you are getting defeated, you are going into a denial mode. That's why the natural decay which could have taken in 6 months of time has taken before the voting ink disappeared from our fingers. That's why 60 elected MLAs out of 80, they came together maintaining all the formalities of the parliamentary politics and assembly procedures. They came together, they came with a resolution. They went to meet the Honorable Speaker physically and they have submitted their prayer and they have made their leader of opposition, chief whip and deputy leaders and all, maintaining each and every decorum. It's not that the one MLA has signed on behalf of the others. And that is why, and they have categorically said, yes, of course there is a discontentment. The Himalayan corruption that took place during the previous government could have taken sufficient befitting step at that point of time. But instead of taking steps, sometimes they endorse the accused persons. They gave prizes and prize posting to the accused persons.
Okay.
And on the contrary, the person like me who tried to brought all these irregularities before the highest authority of the party or the government, instead of investigating those issues, those persons like me, they were heckled, they were harassed, they were punished and they were suspended. That's why these consequences has taken place.
Okay, let me quickly ask you a follow-up question. I know Professor Monojit Mondal also wants to come in on this, but Mr. Sen, you know, anybody who's listening to what individuals who were once associated and had a role to defend the TMC are saying today, they would ask the obvious question. How did you fight tooth and nail and defend your party back then if corruption was always the issue? Was there pressure? Was there pressure to defend the party?
My stand is very clear. Dr. Shantanu Sen, as former member of parliament, is raising the voice after the miserable defeat of BJP or after the thumping victory of Bharatiya Janata Party. That scenario is not so. Today you are addressing me as a former member of parliament. Go through your archive. As a sitting member of parliament in the year 2023 and 2024, when corruptions took place in Arjikor, at that point of time I was the chairman of that Arjikor Rogi Kalyan Samiti. I submitted all the documents to the highest authority of the party and highest authority of the government without giving a single paper to the media. After the horrible Ovai incident, despite being in the party, me and my wife, we stood for against this Ovai incident. We demanded justice, and that's why instead of giving justice, we were victimized, we were punished, we were heckled, we were harassed. My wife was physically assaulted and I was suspended. My medical registration was tried to be suspended. We have gone through such a long phase. And finally, when my daughter was threatened, because she was a medical student, I said it repeatedly, her student life was made miserable. When finally I was told that if you move further, we will see how your daughter can pass the final MBBS. Then really I got scared because after all I have father first. Then I am a political person. Now I know my daughter has become a doctor, and now I know that those goons are not there. They are not prevailing in the society anymore. And I have enough faith and trust on this new government led by Chief Minister Shubhendu Adhikari ji. So now I am once again I am speaking out. But again, I repeat, my protest is since 2023 as a sitting MP now till today.
Okay, you were fighting on the right issues. You back then also raised the issue you're saying. Let me bring in Professor Manojit Mondal. So Professor Manojit Mondal, what he is essentially trying to say is, imagine if this happened to netas who were with the party, associated with the party, what must be happening to those in the opposition raising their voice against the Mamata government back then. And it's also clear then that there's discontent and dissatisfaction which has led to what is unfolding in West Bengal today. So how does, BJP or anyone else come into picture?
You see, I mean, this gang of 60 or 61 reminds me of the famous saying by the great thinker, Dr. Samuel Johnson, rather misappropriated, that politics is the last refuge of the scoundrels. I think, look, 4 weeks, 5 weeks ago, they were with Mamata. They were all prostrating before Abhishek Banerjee's office to get some bar because the winning was sure for them. And in the middle of March, including this expelled leader called Ritabrata Banerjee, who I think was one of the rare distinction of being expelled by two political parties, actually a rotten egg. When he was inducted into the party, I opposed, right? Because my opinion was sought at that point of time. Now I think the TMC is getting its own medicine. So I think these people, if they have got any political morality, which we can't expect from any political leader in this country, they should resign and contest the seat on their own. They've all won because of Mamata, because of the symbol that Trinamool Mamata gave them, because of the fight because of the blood and toil that Mamata sort of shed for these people during the hot and humid condition of campaigning. These people, they know it very well that they have got so many things under their cover to actually hide. Yes, in that case, Mr. Sen was also suspended, and again he took for the post of spokespersonship for a few months. I don't know what happened.
He just explained his ordeal. He just explained what happened to him when he tried raising his voice on the Arjikar issue.
I could understand.
And I'm sure you know that this is what Riju Datta has also said, that how he was hounded and targeted.
Who hounded Riju Datta and targeted? Riju Datta is not such a big leader that he will be hounded by people, right? He was a bad mouth. Party did not give this kind of direction to call, satanic name, bloody Amit Shah. That kind of dictate won't be given by the party.
But he then later said that there was pressure on him to say such things. Pressure on him to target institutes.
Madam, had I known that you are the anchor, I would not have come to this show. Have some cuts. I did not know that you are anchoring the show, right?
Interesting.
This is my email, yeah?
Shouldn't matter. Question should matter.
Yeah, question. If you ask question, have the guts to listen to the answer, right? I am saying I worked for the party as a spokesperson for 2 years. I left on my own. The party wanted to appoint me. I was never dictated by the party to have this kind of, expletive used against a minister, right? I was never. Even when Partha Chatterjee's, the money was found from his friend's house, I was in the middle of a debate. At around 10, people, me, including Mr. Shantanu Sen, know that I am still connected with the party. Party has not asked me to, is not dictating terms that if I criticize the party, there will be something wrong on me, right? Nothing will happen. Nothing of this sort happened. Even all the opposition leaders in this state, including Shubhendu Adhikari, he had so many cases against him. The government did not take any steps, right?
Okay.
So I think, yes, there were problems, there were corruption, there were nepotism. We all know that.
So that's exactly what Shantanu Sen is saying, that there was corruption. He chose to raise his voice. And why is it
Fine.
that when somebody now you have to give me time to ask you questions as well before you start targeting the anchor and leveling allegations. Listen to what I have to ask you. Now, why is it that this is a standard response every single time, that when someone points a finger towards the party or says that their voice is not being heard, their grievance is not being paid attention to, those people are called traitors, they are called betrayers. If there's mutual agreement on the fact that yes, perhaps there was corruption happening, what's wrong if Mr. Sen or Riju Datta or others today are saying the same thing?
Corruption was happening since 2019. I'm saying out on TV. What these people have been doing so far. And number two, had the party won the election in 2026, would they have quit? Ask them, did they have the guts, moral conscience of quitting had the party won this 2026 election? The answer is clear, no. Right? So the facts remain that these people are acting as a kind of, they're acting as a kind of unauthorized political prostitutes just to save their skin, and they know that.
Professor Monjit Mondal, stop calling names. Just because you don't agree with their views. Just because you don't agree with their views does not mean that we have to stoop to this level of criticism.
I would have honored them. Like we have Madan Mitru.
I'm sure they don't need your honor or even these insults from you. Mr. Sen, go ahead. Mr. Sen, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I am sorry. As a doctor, with all humility, I would request my colleague to mind his language. The language he has been using openly in a TV show before lakhs and lakhs of spectators. I think if this doesn't suit you, I know you are a very learned and educated person. So as a doctor, as I should control my tongue, similarly the same thing should be done by you also. I can clarify my issue once again. I said I was threatened, my daughter was threatened, but now after my daughter got passed and got her MBBS cleared, and after the government has got the clear mandate from the public, now I can speak out. On the contrary, I tell you, if Trinamool Congress would have won this 2026 election, by using their genetic character, those goons, those culprits who used to run these nexus, who used to run this corruption, once again they would have been pampered by the government run by Trinamool Congress, because that has become their basic character.
Okay.
Now you tell me, in that situation, what could have been done by me? I can tell you very specifically. I was only scared about my daughter's career. Even if Trinamool Congress would have won this election, and even if they would have pampered this type of goons once again, yes, Dr. Shantanu Sen would have raised the voice once again.
You got your
I
response.
have that much of guts.
You got your response, Professor Mondal, on the question that if TMC would have won, would these people do the same thing that they are doing today? You got your answer.
They would have prostrated before Abhishek Banerjee's house to get the birth, I tell you, right? And first of all, Mr. Sen, I know what, like, out of greed and power. Because most of the politicians in this country, they run before power. I did not. When I was given, I was chosen, I was given the spokespersonship. I said no, because you have removed me once, I would not. I would love to have my independence, and I will definitely support the party. But I also criticize the party. Like he was telling, I exposed the former education minister 6 months back because I was also working under him. He was kind of my boss, but I had the guts to expose him. And I told this to the party. Party supported me. I told this to the party. Party supported me. I'm saying this on record. Because I could see that in front of my own eyes. He was stealing job. He was appointing all kinds of, nasty people on a big post. So including in my own university.
Okay, that's great for you. If the party supported you, if you had a great experience with the party, that does not mean your experience will decide what happened to others, and their views cannot take shape based on what you had to go through. So I don't think it's fair to do name calling. You may not agree with Dr. Sen or other people, but name calling and using a language that's not acceptable and unparliamentary is not acceptable, should not happen. That's not permissible. I have to wrap up, but a couple of seconds to you, Dr. Sen. Just a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I think Mr. Mondal was fortunate enough to get the support from the party at that point of time when he raised his voice. But my experience is just the reverse. I rose my voice, I submitted all the documents, and I got punished. I was removed from that particular post from Arjikar Medical College, and finally for raising voice in favor of justice for Abhaya, I was suspended for 14 months.
All right. You know, many believe that the internal rebellion and the turmoil now in the TMC in West Bengal is because TMC has lost the election, and this is nothing but opportunism. But the other side is that the MLAs feel that there was discontent, that they were not happy with the high command. They were clearly not happy with the role Abhishek Banerjee was playing. And that's the reason why today, when they got an opportunity, they've decided to openly speak about their viewpoint. There's an open rebellion happening today in West Bengal. Whether Mamata Banerjee wants to accept it or not, it's playing out. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us.